Hi, Mr. Logan. How are you? Good.
Yes, not too bad, thank you.
All right, thank you. So my name's Christopher Day. I'm the chairman of the licensing committee. And on my left, I've got Councillor Clackworthy, and on my right, I've got Councillor Chotty. I've also got our legal representative, Jenny Ager, and I've also got Tom Phelan, who's from WRS, head of licensing. With that, we normally ask Tom to introduce the item. So, Tom, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank you, Chair. Members are asked to consider and determine an application from Mr Elif Locken for the renewal of a licence to use a vehicle as a private hire vehicle. An application was received from Mr Locken for the renewal of a licence to use the following vehicle: a black Ford Galaxy, registration DG15WTD. A copy of the application form and relevant documents submitted by the applicant will be circulated to members at this hearing. So, apologies, Chair. I have some paperwork.
Thank you.
A copy of the application form, relevant documents submitted by the applicant will be circulated to members at this hearing. Officers are not able to grant the application under delegated powers as the vehicle falls outside the Council's normal policy in relation to the grant of licences to use vehicles as private hire. The Council's Hackney Carriage and Private Hire licensing policy states the following: for renewing a licence to use a vehicle as a private hire, where the vehicle is not powered fully by electricity or hydrogen fuel cell, is not an ultra-low emission vehicle, and is not capable of carrying a wheelchair user whilst they remain seated in their wheelchair, the vehicle must be under 10 years of age. Currently, the vehicle is 10 years and 4 months old. The Council has adopted the policy relating to the grant of licences to use vehicles as private hire vehicles. This policy was attached to Appendix 2. Members should pay particular attention to Section 3.11, which states: in determining the application, the starting point will be that the application should be refused unless the vehicle is of such an exceptional standard as to justify a departure from this policy. In considering whether the vehicle is an exceptional standard, regard will be had to the age of the vehicle, mileage of the vehicle, make, model, specifications of the vehicle, emission standard met by the vehicle, MOT and service history of the vehicle, interior and exterior condition of the vehicle, and whether the vehicle has any exceptional features or performs or is designed for any specific function or use that the majority of other vehicles cannot perform. The primary and overriding consideration will be whether the vehicle is safe and fit for use. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Tom. Great. Mr. Logan, did you want to make any comments before we go and have a look at the vehicle?
It's technically 3 months. Oh, that's just popped on. And if we'd have had the vehicle literally 3 months earlier, it would have been granted a licence without the need to meet the committee, because it would have met the 10 years. It's the reason we're looking for the extension is it's a 6-seater vehicle, and they're pretty much in short supply in Evesham. Whilst we look for an 8-seater to replace it, but obviously, you know, with the constraints of the business, and we need to make sure that the 8-seater vehicle that we purchase is suitable for the needs of the business and the business strategy. We appreciate that it doesn't meet the ULEZ requirements currently set within the licensing regulations, but having checked the emissions, it is only marginally over the rest of our fleet, which do meet the ULEZ requirements. Also, we use technology to enhance our fleet and ensure that our vehicles are roadworthy and safe. And as far as I'm aware, we're probably the only taxi company, probably in the whole of Wychavon, that use a fleet check service where our drivers are physically unable to log on to accept work unless they've walked around and completed fleet check app checks on their vehicle to declare that they are roadworthy. Of which I've printed a report, I don't know if you want to see it, of everything that we've used and spent on the vehicle since we've had it. So as soon as a driver instantly says that vehicle's got a defect, it's reported in real time straight to our office that then can immediately send it straight to the garage for rectification.
I'd happily look at that. Well, I'm sure we would. That's fine. We just have to take it in turns between hitting the button on the speaking button. Thank you. Yeah, so that would be good to see. I'd like to understand what fleet check is. Not heard of it before. Fine.
Okay, so yeah, fleet check is predominantly aimed at the transport trade in terms of HGV and things like that. However, it's adaptable, and all I can show you the mobile app actually if you want to see it. Basically, there's an app which where are we? Basically lists whatever vehicles. Do you want me?
In this case, he doesn't open the review and will use it. Yes. Yeah.
For 2 or 3 months. However, we've got instant reporting, and what happens is, we know what's going on with that car, how many miles it's done. So as soon as it's flagged for a service, we get straight away instant notification. Yeah. Whereas previously, the driver might wait another 2-3 weeks and say, oh yeah, it needs a service. And you're like, well, hold on a minute, it's done 5,000 miles more than it should have done. Yeah. Yeah. So that all helps with helping maintain the roadworthiness and safety of the vehicles.
Sure. Any questions from my colleagues here then?
I've got a question. 6-seater for what purpose? And 8-seater you mentioned too.
So currently we use the Galaxy, which is a 6-seater. So its predominant use is it's usually mainly wedding work because people travel in crowds larger than 4. We do the odd airport in it because it's a bit more spacious. However, we are looking at upgrading to a full-size 8-seater vehicle because that's a lot more better in terms of airport runs because you get more people in it for a start, much more luggage space. You put 6 people in the Galaxy, you ain't getting a case in the car as well. It's just not big enough. So that's why we're looking at a 8-seater.
Hello. Just out of interest, you're saying that it may not be the same driver each day. So do you basically have, your vehicles like in a pool, and they go, and then if they've got a job, they take a vehicle, and then are they responsible then to check the vehicle before they take it out, or do they take a vehicle out and they might be driving and think, that's making a funny noise, and so report it back to you for you to raise an incident report? I mean, how does the running of things happen? You know, where does their responsibility start? Is it when they pick up the vehicle, if they don't actually, or do they take a vehicle home with them?
Okay, so 90% of the time the driver will drive the same vehicle, unless it's in for a service, MOT, or it's needed for something else. So predominantly we've got one driver who drives a 6-seater vehicle. However, if he's not working, another driver might pick that up in the evening to cover a 6-seater job. In terms of the vehicle checks, the driver is legally responsible for any defects, whereas we're, accountable for ensuring that the vehicle is roadworthy. So the driver's responsibility starts from when he picks the key up. We operate on a PDA system, and the driver is unable to log in to accept any work unless he has completed the walk-around checks. Right. So the vehicle has to be checked before they can even drive away in it.
I may not put it quite the right way. That's what I was getting at, is that they are responsible for checking the vehicle before they take the vehicle out. Okay, thank you for that.
We'll go and have a look at the vehicle then. Thank you, Mr. Locken. Thanks. thanks for showing us the car, Mr. Loken, and also for talking a bit about what you're doing and your app and so on. We are willing to license the car for another year. We wouldn't expect to license it again after that. That would be the only thing we would say. So we'd hope that you can find your, replacement car in that time frame. But in the meantime, we wish you all the best with your business and your colleagues. Thank you.
Cheers, thanks very much indeed.
Hello.
Hi.
So it's Mr. Mohammed
Yeah.
Wakar, is
Yeah.
that right? Okay, great. Let me just introduce everybody. So my name's Chris Day. I'm the chairman of the licensing committee. To my right, I've got Councillor Chotti, and to my left, Councillor Clapworthy, and further on, Miss Jenny Ager, who's our legal representative, and also Tom Phelan, who's from WRS. I don't know if you're a regular attender here, but you look like you've done it before. You just have the air of a man who's been...
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we'll let Tom introduce the vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Members are asked to consider and determine an application from Mr. Mohammed Wakar for the renewal of a licence to use a private hire vehicle. An application has been received from Mr. Wakar for the renewal of a licence to use the following vehicle: a black Mercedes-Benz V-Class, registration KD15GVJ. Date of first registration, 24th of July 2015. Copy of the application form and relevant documents submitted by the applicant have been circulated to members at this hearing. Officers are not able to grant the application under delegated powers as the vehicle falls outside the Council's normal policy, and the Council's Hackney Carriage and Private Hire Licensing Policy states that following a renewing of a licence to use a vehicle as a private hire, where the vehicle is not powered fully by electricity or hydrogen fuel cell, is not an ultra-low emissions vehicle, and is not capable of carrying a wheelchair user whilst they remain seated in the wheelchair, the vehicle must be under 10 years of age. The vehicle is currently 10 years and 1 month old. The applicants have been invited to attend the hearing to present their case and make their vehicle available for inspection. The Council has adopted the policy relating to grant of licences to use vehicles as private hires, and the section states the following: in determining the application, the starting point will be that the application should be refused unless the vehicle is of such an exceptional standard as to justify a departure from this policy. In considering whether the vehicle is an exceptional standard, regard will be had to the age of the vehicle, mileage of the vehicle, make, model, specifications of the vehicle, emission standard met by the vehicle, MOT and service history of the vehicle, interior and exterior condition of the vehicle, and whether the vehicle has any exceptional features or performs or is designed for any specific function or use that the majority of other vehicles cannot perform. Financial and other personal circumstances of the applicant for the grant or renewal of a licence will not be taken into account when reaching a decision. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Tom. Mr. Wakar, do you want to say anything before we go and have a look at the vehicle?
Don't let the mileage put you off. To be honest, I had another engine put in there in January 2022, which had done only 8,000, but I couldn't find the invoice for that. But so I'm not using it as a argument. But yeah, they're built to last 500,000 miles, so just don't let the mileage put you off.
No problem. It's not the highest that we've seen. Okay, thank you, Mr. Wicker, for showing us the vehicle and also for the chat. We're happy to license the vehicle for another year.
Thank you.
We probably wouldn't expect to see it again after that. That's what we tend to say
Yeah.
to people. We have got a policy of 10 years, and you know, we don't really want to go beyond that. But thank you for bringing it in.
Perfect. No worries. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Hussain. My name's Chris Day. I'm the chairman of the licensing committee. To my right is Councillor Chotti. To my left, Councillor Clackworthy. Over there, we've got Jenny Ager, who's our legal officer. And over here, we've got Tom Whelan from Worcester Regulatory Services. So, Tom, if you wouldn't mind introducing the vehicle to us. Thank you. Okay, Tom, if you wouldn't mind going ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Members are asked to consider and determine an application from Mr Iftikhar Hussain for the renewal of a licence to use a vehicle as a private hire. An application was received from Mr Hussain for the renewal of a licence to use the following vehicle: a blue BMW 320, registration RE15TUA. Copy of the application form, relevant documents submitted by the applicant will be circulated to members at this hearing. Officers are not able to grant the application under delegated powers as the vehicle falls outside the Council's normal policy in the relation to grant of licences to use as private hire vehicles. The policy states that following for renewing a licence to use a vehicle as a hackney carriage, as a private hire, where the vehicle is not powered fully by electricity or hydrogen fuel cell, is not an ultra-low emissions vehicle, and is not capable of carrying a wheelchair whilst they remain seated in the wheelchair, the vehicle must be under 10 years of age. This vehicle is currently 10 years and 3 months old. Council has adopted policy relating to the grant of licences to use vehicles as private hire vehicles. This section states, in determining the application, the starting point will be that the application should be refused unless the vehicle is of such an exceptional standard as to justify a departure from this policy. In considering whether the vehicle is an exceptional standard, regard will be had to the age of the vehicle, mileage of the vehicle, make, model, specification of the vehicle, emission standard met by the vehicle, MOT and service history of the vehicle, and whether the vehicle has any exceptional features or performs or is designed for any specific function or use that the majority of other vehicles cannot perform. Financial and other personal circumstances of the applicant for the grant of a renewal will not be taken into account. The primary and overriding consideration will be whether the vehicle is safe and fit for use, and the applicant has been invited to present his case and make his vehicle available for inspection. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Tom. Fine. Mr. Hussain, do you want us to have anything you want to say before we have a look at the vehicle? Any questions or comments? No? Okay, no, super. All right, well, we'll go and have a look, and if that's all right with you, before it starts raining. Okay. Thank you very much for showing us around the car, Mr. Hussain. We've decided to defer the application. So what that means is you can carry on driving the car, but we would like the recall email being sent to Tom, and we would also like the aircon fixed. And what we would also say is, just so that you could pass this back, is that with cars of this age where they're just over the 10 years, we wouldn't expect to license it again when it reached the 11-year point, if you see what I mean. So you'd have it for 1 year, but that would be it. If you came back the next time round, the committee wouldn't agree to it going forward, because we have to have a kind of a red line stop. Technically, it is the 10 years, but we've been agreeing to extensions of 1 year up until now. Does that all make sense? You happy with? That's right. Yeah. Well,
it hasn't been approved as yet. You'll need to bring the vehicle back again to the next committee to show that you have had the aircon fixed, and also provide information about the BMW recall.
He has shown the email outside, so he has got that.
okay.
Okay.
So it'll just be
Just
the
the one.
aircon that needs to be repaired.
Yeah. And then you're good to go for the year. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Take care.